Welcome everyone! We are the Grin brothers and we're continuing our playthrough of Senran Kagura Beach Splash. Whew!
Hello.
Okay, so I've basically with that sort of stuff covered most of my main gaming related topics. I guess one quick thing I can mention, I've already mentioned to Kiris because he was obviously going to be the one who'd be most excited for the information. Monster Hunter Generations is Ultimate. Monster Hunter Generations is getting a port to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Not Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Generations.
People didn't seem that into it, from what I saw.
Well, I think that's mainly because people would be wanting the latest one, Monster Hunter World, ported rather than Generations.
I think people's general consensus is Monster Hunter Worlds did too much to improve and change the formula.
Which is
Not
ironic.
many people want to go back.
Which is ironic because the reason Capcom titled it Monster Hunter World is they basically developed it as a spin-off in mind.
Yeah.
They made the Monster Hunter World as basically their attempt to make it a single-player focused Monster Hunter.
Yeah, and it's been better. I think the thing is because it's.
Oh, these two! Well, wait, that's strange. Ryobi never once went transform state in her playthrough. And here she's popped up as transform state.
Yeah,
I think this is director bias here.
probably. I mean, would the director ever have any bias? Would they ever? We got a white screen.
Oh, it's interesting we're finding Hibijo so soon.
She's not. Oh, that's pleasant. So they haven't met her before.
Apparently not.
So is she like a new character introduced solely in Peach Beach Splash?
No, I think it was just before Beach Splash.
Okay. Because otherwise there is an awful lot of plot in this that is just...
This will be the most important game in the entire series to understand what's going on in the next game.
It feels like it is.
Oh no, the most important one will be, of course, the game which came out after Shinobi Rifle.
Shinobi
where
Rifle
you wouldn't be able to understand anything unless you play Shinobi Rifle. And the pinball game.
But
Senran
Shinobi
Kagura...
Rifle is getting an English release.
Okay, actually, I don't even know how to follow the Senran Kagura timeline anymore.
I can buy
Because it was...
Shinobi Rifle.
Because first it was Senran Kagura 1 and 2. That made sense. And then they released 2 PS Vita games, then a cooking game, then this.
Well, you see, that's where it goes wrong. They released Vita games. The poor Vita.
They got PS4 ports later on. But like Estival Versus and such, it's like... They did a Kingdom Hearts. Kind of weird to compare the two, because you don't have Goofy in this, which is disappointing.
Goofy would be entertaining, but we all know he'd have to die.
I just love when people just request ProZD just to do anything in Goofy's voice.
It is
It's just he can do the perfect Goofy voice, so everyone just requests it.
Well, it's his fault for being good at something.
Yeah.
If he wasn't good at it, people wouldn't ask him to do it.
Yeah, that and I guess the only other thing I can mention gaming related before you can take them center stage for a topic, I guess. Oh, to be fair, you've actually joined in a lot of what I've brought up, so
I have. I've spoken words.
Yeah, I have no real. I've actually tried playing Monster Hunter, not for me. Tried playing it twice, not for me.
Yeah. Which is fair,
but it's interesting they're putting Generations.
Yeah, because I've played the old Monster Hunter games a bit, and I thought they were awful.
Yeah, it's interesting because Capcom don't still.
Asuka, this is why we don't bring you anywhere.
Capcom don't seem to see World as their at this point in time as the future of Monster Hunter, because it was just their attempt to make because people were asking, hey, can we have a more single-player focused one? And thought, okay, we'll bring one that's effectively as a spin-off. I mean, they even changed the primary platform it was on. Capcom, in a weird turn of events, wanted to keep it focused on Nintendo handhelds.
Yeah.
Which, actually, I'll give them credit for that, because it's really annoying when people keep changing the platform their games are on.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they haven't got a choice. Gex had to be moved off the 3DO because the 3DO was dead.
Rightfully so. I don't know. 3DO might have been good.
I mean, I can understand why, I can't remember what the name of the studio was at the time, why Tomb Raider moved from Sega Saturn to PlayStation in the future, because they tried doing it with Sega Saturn at first and found out the Sega Saturn wasn't as capable for the 3D things as they wanted it to be. I mean, it could do it if you worked hard enough, but it was easier for them to do it with PlayStation, and they found more success on PlayStation with their first game anyway.
Yeah.
But it's kind of annoying, you know, when the games just move across the system so much. Particularly when they're follow-ups to one another. Kingdom Hearts!
Kingdom Hearts is just a mess, though.
The only other thing I can mention, game-wise, is Octopath Traveler had a new trailer. They announced the next 2 classes. And they announced some extra things. The reason why I took the thing I mentioned to Kyrus is they mentioned another feature, another ability that the merchant Tressa has.
Yeah.
And basically, characters can have extra bonuses to them. Ulbrich, the warrior, for instance, he can charge up his boost meter even when guarding. Whereas other characters have to attack to charge up the boost meter. He can guard to do it.
Makes sense.
The merchant can randomly gain money from just walking around the town.
Just picks it up off the floor.
No, it would just suddenly be no interruption or anything. It's just Tress found such and such as you're going along, sort of walking.
So does it mean you can just walk in a circle and earn money?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it might be, you have to exit the area first for it to then reactivate.
Yeah.
But yeah, she should just randomly gain money. As the YouTube comment said, Tressa gains money from walking around. Best waifu. But of course, the thief is also someone that Kyrus would be interested in playing as. You get the other characters as party members, and they've got a feature in it where you can do their campaign during the campaign you already started. You can then you can sort of stop an inn and then play through their campaign up to where you've gotten to with your character.
That's cool.
And so we can do all 8 of them at once.
I like that.
Although my problem is it's going to be really hard trying to figure out which one to do in which order.
Yeah, she's got a point. Yes. Well, she's sticking a fan in your head, so...
We need to win this clearly all-important water gun battle.
It is very essential. Flake. You're a flake, Liam. I don't know what that means, but you're a flake.
Am I delicious then and good great on ice cream?
No, not that type of flake. That's a Flake 99, isn't it?
Yeah. Gosh, I actually kind of want an ice cream getting a Mr. Whippy over Flake 99 now, actually.
Well, find an ice cream van.
The little cafe downtown that I like to visit does that. I'm one of the only people who does that during the winter, though.
Yeah, people are weird and weak and don't have ice cream during winter.
Yeah, and but they announced in the last 2 classes. One is the cleric class.
Yay.
She is actually the good path, the saintly path to the rogue, to the seductress, the dancer.
Oh.
The dancer is considered a rogue path to seduce people. Who'd have thought? Although I'd consider the other way round because hers is
forcing you into her religion.
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
But it serves the same purpose, but less chance of it failing, sort of thing. You can always get someone to follow you around.
Yeah.
Well, no, as in if you fail, it isn't negative. But if you can get them to,
yeah,
that's basically. But the interesting one is the scholar of the rogue path, which is the other class. Scholar's
rogue
evil.
Path to who?
Let's see, which one was it? That's the weird thing is because I don't think theirs actually naturally applies to the other characters. Because Ulbrich, let me see, the warrior. Ah, gosh, what?
It's a child.
What are they? Like in this game, There's children, as in which actually look like children.
Yeah, you crowned one on someone's head before. Remember?
But I thought that was just like a cartoon mascot thing.
No, that's
This
Kagura.
game, the child actually.
You know Kagura, that one with the black dress
Yeah.
that we've got, and is actually a fully grown adult titty lady.
Mm-hmm.
That's her.
What?
Yeah, she's a kid. She's like 6. I think she ages rapidly. She's some sort of demon or something.
Okay.
And so I think
Asuka apparently doesn't know them,
they've met her though.
but she's saying they don't seem like bad people.
Yeah, but I assume there's some sort of time travel malarkey. I don't fully understand it. But
Let's see. Ulbrich's opposite is the hunter, because
Yeah.
Ulbrich challenges people to duels. The hunter sets her beats on them.
yeah,
As expected, merchant and thief are opposites.
yeah.
Merchant can buy unique items. Thief has can steal them at the risk of being caught.
Cleric and seductress.
Therapist and seductress. So the opposite would be the apocryphy, medicine man. The scholar's ability is inquire. He forces. Well, they say inquire. He forces information out of people.
He's a torturer.
He's
Inquisitor.
Inquisit. That's it. That's the way they phrased it.
He's an inquisitor, not a scholar.
But his title is called scholar.
Yeah, gonna be honest.
But he gets information out of people, and he seems to have some sort of demonic shadow, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, scholar is the final of the classes. Also, all of their names Octopath.
Wow, that's amazingly cryptic.
Octopath.
Who would have ever expected such a riddle?
But yeah, that was my last thing to be getting up. I'm super looking forward to Octopath Traveler. Aside from Kirby that obviously came out this year, it's the game that kind of makes me feel like it's going to really get me into the Switch.
You're not going to get into the Switch.
I mean, Pokken Tournament DX and Kirby have done a good job, but I feel Octopath Traveler is going to be the thing that's really going to throw me into it.
You're destined just to hate the Switch.
Possibly.
It killed Miiverse, and you're just bitter about it forever.
Could be. But, you know, you never know.
You never know.
They could introduce Miiverse. Do that already. Yeah.
They're never going to.
You've actually got things to talk about, though.
Yeah, I can talk about things. I can speak words. I'm doing it right now. See?
I thought that was my imagination, actually, so I thought I was having a very good a conversation by myself.
On the topic of just buying Vita games to play on the PS4, which basically is all I've done, I just wanted to play... Well, I brought the PS4 for Ratchet and Clank.
That's funny, actually.
That was a massive disappointment.
I bought the Xbox One for Sunset Overdrive. That was a huge
shame
opposite of disappointment.
Yeah.
Somehow the word is lost on me, but it isn't disappointment.
There is no word. There's no word for it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I love Sunset Overdrive.
Just kick the robot. Nothingness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that game was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Not terrible, just
lackluster
bad.
compared to the others.
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Yeah, so after that it's basically just been Digimon games that I've played.
Yeah.
But now I've found another type of game that I can play.
Which ties in well to this game.
Titty games. And so, in effect, I only remember this game existed because a customer was buying it. And they made it. I didn't even really pay attention to it because that involved me caring about my customers.
Yep.
I don't. And he made some comment about the steel case being really nice, and I was like, oh, I'll have a look at it.
Speaking of steel case, does your steel case actually open up somewhat well?
Yeah, it's a fine.
Because the Fallout 4 steel case can go to hell.
Yeah, it actually functions like a case instead of a trap like Fallout 4's. But I looked at it and I was like, this game looks familiar. And then I remembered what it was. Dragon's Crown. Game that came out on Vita a long, long time ago.
2013?
Yeah.
Or 2014? I think 2014.
A long, long time ago. That got in controversy because the character's tits were too big.
Which is strange because every character is a bit too big except for the elf and the sorcerer. Sorry, wizard. Sorceress is the one who's big. Elf and the wizard, who are the
humans.
Whereas the other characters are very exaggerated.
Funny that the elf actually looks like a human.
Yeah.
So no one's proportioned right. Even the monk looks like he's able to... He looks a bit like Barrett from Bravely Default on steroids. But yeah, no one's proportioned correctly. And I was like, oh, it's a beat-em-up game with like kind of RPG elements. So I'm gonna like that because I like beat-em-ups and I like RPGs.
There's a lot of these white flashes and they're getting very annoying because I keep thinking they're going to switch over to a, you know...
Actual event?
Yeah, picture or something.
No. And I brought it. And you know what? The breast physics in that game, 10 out of 10. Amazing. Beautiful.
Let me just mention the Dragon Crown Pro is made by Vanillaware, who also created one of my favourite video games of all time, Muramasa the Demon Blade.
Which, I won't lie, is an absolutely amazing game, and I love it as well.
They are experts at art.
Yes.
Their art is super stylistic, super gorgeous.
Game is beautiful beyond belief. There are many assets to it that are just breathtaking. No, more seriously, the game does look amazing.
Like, even if you take away the stylistic thing, like, even if you took away the breasts or... You know,
yeah, it still looks amazing.
It still looks amazing. But it's just that they went for a stylistic approach, which works because it fits... They do it across the board.
And it plays really well. I'm a huge fan of beat-em-ups, personally. I know some people aren't, and they're inherently wrong. But they're allowed their opinion.
You need to play Streets of Rage series. That's just...
Some people don't like it.
I just don't understand.
What
I don't understand is when people like Final Fight but don't like Streets of Rage.
Do you remember that beat-em-up game that me and Chris played, Charlie Murder?
Oh, yes.
Very punk rock,
yeah.
emo, goth, edgy.
The creators of it didn't like Streets of Rage?
No, the creators of it have no idea. But I remember Game Grumps hated it.
Really?
And I was like, how? It's a really well-made beat-em-up. It's like genuine... Beat-em-ups are a game. When you talk about beat-em-ups, you don't really think there's much you can do with a beat-em-up, but there is.
Yeah.
Like, because on a technical level, does Muramasa count as a beat-em-up?
Well, because of the swords, it's kind of weird here. It counts more as a 2D hack and slash. Like 2D has to be specifically mentioned because it hasn't got the. Basically, there's three ways of terming it. You have beat 'em up, which is side-scrolling beat 'em up, where you can't move in and out of the foreground. Then you've got the beat 'em up, which is like Streets of Rage, moving in and out of the foreground,
which is what Dragon.
And then you've got 3D beat 'em ups, which I guess a 3D hack and slash, which is basically just beat 'em up with swords. The 3D hack and slash is mostly defined by Warriors series. Koei Tecmo have basically cornered the market now. Which other 3D beat-em-ups can include, like, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games.
Is a Warriors game kind of like a 3D beat-em-up anyway?
Or basically Platinum Games' biggest genre. Like Bayonetta is and Devil May Cry are technically evolutions of the beat-em-up genre.
Hack and slash in general is an evolution of beat-em-ups. I guess.
But more. There's also arcade beat-em-ups, where like the Transformers game they released.
There are differences between a hack and slash and a beat-em-up, but
what I hate is when people turn beat-em-ups as fighting games, which makes no sense.
No, they're completely different.
They've got fighting in them, but most games have fighting in them. You punch Goombas in Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 is not a fighting game.
You have a free-hit combo as well.
Yeah. Much to Nitro Rad's displeasure.
Punk outfit. We have a punk outfit now.
But yeah, the beat-em-up people tend to be very narrow-minded in terms of thinking what it is, but there's a lot you can do with it, and there's a lot that actually comes under the genre of beat-em-up. There's subcategories to it, but there's subcategories to all games like that.
Because I
JRPG, WRPG, ARPG.
Yeah, I like the idea of RPG-style beat-em-ups, like leveling up, getting new abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dragon's Crown, honestly, as weird as it sounds, aesthetically and style-wise, reminds me a lot of Blaze and Blade.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
It starts off with all the characters in a tavern, which helps, and it's got like a similar fantasy feel to it.
Okay.
It's just like they took Blaze and Blade and turned it into an anime.
So, quick thing to point out, Blaze and Blade is a game that exists. You may not
no
have
one
heard
knows
because it's an insanely obscure RPG.
Yeah, the reaction of my managers when I turned around and said my favourite game was probably Blazing Blade was, what? I was like, it's a PS1 game. Then again, I feel like some of my favourite games, just like, they're the only... They made it, and then any other game like it doesn't seem to exist. Because Blazing Blade, I haven't successfully found a game that actually feels like Blazing Blade.
Okay, well, let's see. To go off the origin of Blazing Blade, the origin is fairly simple because of the games like it, there is one source that inspired almost all of them. And it isn't what you think of being Dungeons & Dragons. The origin would probably be Gauntlet. Maybe on the Atari 2600.
Oh god, that game is disgusting.
Well, to be fair, in the arcades it worked a lot better. 7800 was actually closer to what Gauntlet originally was. Gauntlet has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It's basically, here's a top-down sort of fantasy game where you fight off creatures for a dungeon.
To quickly explain Blazing Blade, you have your different classes, male and female versions of all of them, basically. You pick it, you roll dice for your stats, so it's kind of randomised.
Yeah.
And then you get popped in the air.
And you just keep re-rolling the dice and over again until you get what you
want.
want.
Yeah.
Hours
Or
that takes!
Just be curious and somehow manage perfect score every time.
Yep.
And then it's like a top-down adventure-ish.
Gauntlet's
RPG.
the easiest way to sum it up.
Sure.
Because that's its core game.
But
its core sort of... But then again, a lot of games...
Another game I love beyond all belief, and I've never found a game that captures that feeling, is Thingy Soul 2.
Oh, Shining Soul 2!
Shining Soul 2 on the GBA.
Shining Soul 2...
The game is amazing, and the other Shining Soul games
There
play nothing like it.
is another game that plays like Shining Soul 2.
What?
Shining Soul 1.
I've never seen it.
I know.
I know it exists. But I've
first
never
game-
found it.
Yeah, the problem with the Shining series is that
Half of them are garbage. I hate them.
there's... The first 3 Shining games... Well, the core Shining games are basically Sega's answer to Fire Emblem.
Yes.
They are apparently very good ones of that.
And I don't like Fire
However,
Emblem.
the Shining series is known for having a lot of spin-offs.
Yes.
Like, what their spin-off from the Sega Saturn was a Legend of Zelda clone.
Alright.
With one of the best lines ever, an NPC says, "Hey Miyamoto, make more Legend of Zelda games. We need more inspiration."
Alright. Yeah. That's...
The big flaw of that game is the pause menu took ages to load up on screen.
Ah. See, Shining Soul 2...
And you had to do the pause menu in order to change the weapons. But yeah.
Oh. Shining Soul 2,
Let's
pause
actually
menu.
auto play a little bit just for
Oh, yeah.
some story in between.
Shining Soul 2, it didn't pause when you paused. Stuff still happened. But I don't know why. Like, that game is so much fun. I loved it bits. For whatever reason, I've not found a game that plays... Basically, what I'm saying, if I could create games or commission a game, I would make a spiritual successor to both those games. And then I could die happy.
Well, you've got an easier time.
be happy.
You got an easier time than some of the games I've enjoyed. I mean, it would be nigh impossible nowadays to try and make a successor to Boktai. Hey, where are we going to put the solar sensor in? Because that's the problem. They on the DS game, the third entry in the Boktai series, they gave up the thing which made it special in having that solar gauge because they couldn't equip it onto the DS anymore. The DS cartridge wasn't designed for it.
I guess it's also...
Which unfortunately was the end of it, but...
I guess they could have just done it based on time of day. I know that's a bit of a cop-out, but...
Yeah, I mean, they did, I think, with the DS one.
The solar panel is a bit impractical.
Yeah, but...
Don't get me wrong, I love the idea.
I mean, you couldn't play Boktai on GBA SP because the Game Boy Advance was pointing down all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But it was such a cool idea.
Really cool idea, just impractical. But you've already got 2. Don't be selfish. Yeah. You can't have more masks. Well, you can, but it doesn't cost a wish. Wait, so who's the final fight going to be again?
It'd be Crimson Squad. which actually makes sense for this group.
Yeah. Yeah, like, they keep making spiritual successors for games I don't care about. And it annoys. They keep making spiritual successors for the same type of game.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I love A Hat in Time beyond all belief, and it's so far been the most successful spiritual successor of the
Basically, here's a key advantage. With a spiritual successor, say you want to take inspiration from it, but do your own thing. Dear gosh, the games have messed up when they haven't tried to do their own thing.
Yeah.
Shovel Knight and Hand Time are your examples of good ones. Meanwhile,
Yes.
your examples of bad ones are Ukulele and Mighty Number 9.
Like,
And you can see the difference into what they were aiming for.
you can see the difference in, like, the love, the care, the fact that it's original and different. It doesn't feel like a rehash.
Well, I'm surprised that there was no spiritual successor popping up for Crash Bandicoot.
They've just really re-released them.
I know, nowadays, but like there was a huge time.
Also, aren't you looking forward to being able to play Crash Bandicoot on your Xbox?
I'm surprised there's no spiritual successor to Paper Mario.
I think it's because people are scared of Nintendo.
I mean, the closest I saw, to a game which was aiming to do a Paper Mario-esque gameplay to it. Sadly, getting off the ground by will help fund it if they go back to Kickstarter again. Suplex Saga. Which, that definitely was planning on having the Paper Mario mechanics of the battle sort of system.
But it's like how point-and-click games are dead. Kind of. Big companies don't see money in point-and-clicks.
Yeah,
but people still want to play point-and-clicks.
Yeah, there are a few people like that. I mean, I never saw the appeal of it myself, but unfortunately I started off with a terrible choice. It was like Broken Sword or Broken Destiny.
Sword, yes.
I hated that game so much. A good game that you could put in the point-and-click category, which I did like, Another Code.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, DS was weird, wasn't it?
Does the Lane series count as point-and-click, or is that purely
it's puzzle?
Purely... Oh, no, there is another point-and-click. Ace Attorney.
Yeah,
It's a point-and-click. Its category is defined as point-and-click, and people love that series. It's one of few Capcom's consistent sellers.
It feels more like a
it's
puzzle visual novel.
It feels like it's gone into its own category, but point-and-click is technically where it goes into.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those
It's where
weird...
it fits in closest.
It's like a subgenre of point-and-click.
I think there are some interesting things you could do.
Well, the most recent one that I remember...
King's Quest is the
was
most
the
recent
King's
one.
Quest, yeah.
I think you could actually make a game which is both point-and-click and has a form of more of a real-time element to it.
Yeah.
Like, the idea I had was, for one, was the idea of the point-and-click was you know... kind of like the games where you can control things with your sort of mind sort of thing. You know, control objects and such. But this, it was like, you know, you control the wind sort of doing it.
Yeah.
And you could actually make that both for puzzle solving and for a lot of the...
Screwing with people.
Yeah.
It'd be like Dewey's Adventure, but point-and-click.
That's another successor you're probably not going to get.
Yeah. I don't think I'm ever going to play a game like Dewey's Adventure. But although I'd like to see one, that there's other games I'd prioritise to have spiritual successors for.
Well, we'll end this episode and give me a little bit of time to try and think of some of my own. I think I'm a little bit luckier than you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not hard, admittedly. Your cases are pretty...
mine are pretty...
Spiritual successor to Fury of the Furries. I would want that.
It'd be interesting.
Did
get a...
So I guess you could basically put any platform where you can change between characters to... Actually, Shantae, your friend to the end, might actually be pretty close to that, actually.
Yeah, you might get your spiritual successor to Fury of the Furries in the form of... Actually, you know what?
Bolo.
Yeah.
Hey, this is why Bolo is best waifu.
I was going to say, it's probably not the best idea to take sexualized characters like that.
Bolo.
And start
Clearly.
implementing furries. Don't want that. Nah.
Yeah. Oh, cheer everyone!
See ya.